Hey everyone, and welcome to my next video. This video is actually a tag video, which I don't normally do, but I thought this video would be quite a good video idea to do. So I'm doing a tag video which is called my #my accent video, and so I'll be answering 10 questions about my accent or my voice. So, question 1. Share your name and where you grew up. So, my name is Matthew Ilmaz Rose or Matthew Ilmaz Rose. I have a English mother and a originally Latvian father. So question 2, do you think you have an accent? Yes. I think so question 3, if so, how would you categorize it? I would say I would categorize it as like, the best way that I can say without going, I have the same accent as everybody else in London, I would say it's obviously a standard British accent, but my mum is originally from southwest London, but I haven't had any influences from my dad's side. So yeah, I would say I'm like estuary meeting like any of the habits of how anybody would in London. So it's very hard to categorize an individual accent, but I would say like I pick up habits like anybody else, and so yeah. So question 4, do you ever change your accent or word choice depending on whom you talk to? If so, share. Yes, I do. I think it's just how people naturally do it. I do try to stick to being myself, but I'm pretty much kind of a consistent person. I would I suppose I adjust to the situation rather than the people. I just basically in terms of my attitude, obviously if there are older people, obviously my parents, my my relatives, anyone who is of certain importance, I will certainly kind of dial it down a bit. But if it's somebody I don't know, I will dial it down a bit. But if it's somebody that I really know, obviously my friends or like people that I know really well, then I'm like, and like I do have fun with the words, but I don't actually swear in conversation because that just isn't in my DNA. I just kind of make up words and kind of have fun with it, really. But I'm nothing against people like swearing in conversation. It's just for me, I find that a bit it just doesn't suit in my DNA. Anyway, so question 5. Do you like your voice in general? Name one thing you like about it. Now, yes. I would say it's versatile, and there's basically a long backstory. Basically, probably years ago now, I was diagnosed with an issue. It's not really a problem, called puberphonia. It's PUBERPHONIA. It's basically when the vocal cords kind of are in the falsetto position all the time. So basically, I basically, puberphonia is when you talk like this all the time, and that's what I was doing. And it could be down to a number of factors, and I'm not a specialist in this, but in my situation, it was a mix of physical problem with a mental problem. And the speech pathologist who I was referred to at the time said, like, oh, it's all mental, it's all in your head, you are making this bigger than it really is. And I was like, no. But he certainly didn't believe that it was a physical problem or to do with anything else. But I went to go and see a laryngologist to basically see my throat. But when I had to go and see the speech pathologist, I had the same thing, like checking my throat and all that. And there was one exercise where he had to massage my throat, and it looked like he was strangling me, because he had to get my Adam's apple or whatever it's called to go down. And so I managed to get down to sounding like how I sound now. But going back to the laryngologist, he said, Matthew, do you know of any other problems you may have? I said, possibly, boy. And he said, because your left side is actually weaker, the left side of your vocal cords are weaker than your right. And so I mentioned about the story in the time when my mum would say the story. Basically, I developed bronchitis, and I was crying to the point where I actually tore my vocal cords, basically, and that was it. And so at the time, it was kind of left like, oh, it'll probably heal up on its own, and it didn't. So basically, the way that I kind of describe it is, well, when every kind of teenager goes through the voice developing, in my case, because the left side of my vocal cords is weaker, it was like, it's like when something's jammed or stuck, or like you're trying to get your coat off a hook. That's what it was, basically, and it just didn't get moved. And so I just needed something to push it a bit. And so puberphonia is like nothing serious or like nothing detrimental. It's just basically an issue where it just comes up, and it doesn't help the voice, basically, because my voice would only go here and not go down. And so I had troubles with going to my chest voice, basically. But now I can go down to my chest voice and go into full voice. I don't think I have a full voice, but I don't want to be sounding loud all the time, and this is where my voice naturally lands anyway. So yeah, it's puberphonia can be overcome without surgery, because unless there's something physically wrong, like if there's like a lump or like something medical that is stopping your voice from developing, then you don't need surgery, and I didn't need surgery. So number 6, have you ever felt judged for your accent or voice? If so, share your experience. Well, what I previously said, really, that question 5 pretty much covers question 6. I was kind of bullied. Well, I was kind of bullied. I wasn't like totally bullied, but I was kind of picked on because I was overweight, high voice, kind of short, and like I was a target, but it was just you know, I just but I didn't really care what other people thought of me. I may have looked it, but I just kind of carried on anyway, carry on regardless, and I just wouldn't change myself for that, because if anybody wasn't gonna be with be friends with me or be with me because of the sound of my voice, or because of my accent, then I just don't speak to them. But anyway, okay, so question 7. Have you ever tried to change your accent or voice? Not on purpose. Well, I have performed pieces that involve changing my voice, but I never changed my voice or my accent because of like people judging me, or like people never really liking my accent or my voice. I just didn't, as I said, I just didn't really care. Number 8. Have you ever made assumptions about someone based on their accent or voice? Probably, I'll probably say yes, I have, but now I kind of, because somebody's voice and accent is can be, or is their identity. And so I do appreciate that now. And so I don't care where you come from, or like what accent you have or voice you have, because I've had the experience where people judged me for my voice. So I know exactly how that feels, because I had a moderate stutter when I was a kid, and I still get it to a certain extent, because when I get nervous, I actually don't I actually don't say my vowels when I stutter. So when I used to live somewhere, there was a vowel at the starting of the word, so I was kind of screwed. But anyway, yeah. So so I have, but I kind of try to see the diplomatic side, and now like I'm getting better at that. And so, because I think of the phrase, or like, treat those how you would like to be treated, and so I try to follow by that. So anyway, what would you like people to know about you that they might not be able to tell from your accent or voice? Well, I sing, but apart from that, not much really. I've pretty much covered all bases. So question 10, last one. Do you feel it's important to help change the stigmas and assumptions associated with certain accents while honouring their uniqueness? If so, what can you do to help? Yes, totally. As I said in one of the questions, is that somebody's voice is somebody's identity and what they have grown up with their whole life, and they will go through changes naturally, but if like somebody's voice doesn't always tally up with how they are personality wise, like you can get people who are sounding not so confident and like very gentle when they're actually quite like but, or like even like the strong sounding voice people, and like who would seen as be stereotypical, who would be totally the other way. And so I would say somebody's voice and accent is a part of who they are. It's not totally who they are, but it's about who they are and what makes them them, and no person should have to kind of judge that because of where they're from or what they do or what they say. So yes, I totally agree with that. So anyway, that's the end of my tag. So if you wish to comment on this video, answer these questions, more than willing to do so. So I'll be passing it on to them. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next time. So whenever there's a new video. So I hope you're keeping safe and well, and take care. So see ya. Bye.